I'm going to cover a handful of items on my current list. Going to be a fairly, not an extensive list, but a number of items, and I do tend to ramble on, so you kind of need to put up with me. If you enjoy some of my content, or if you hate me, hate my guts, hey, you can still subscribe to my channel. You can still comment on my videos. If you find me wrong, hey, let me know where I'm wrong. Now, I'm going to start off with this Phoenix police officer. Now, this happened a number of months ago. I think it's actually in January. Now, the local police station, local TV stations haven't interviewed the officer, but they have interviewed the attorney for this officer and what this officer did. Now, this was out of uniform, off duty, but he did have a gun with him. Now, he'd actually expressed a desire to attend some of these protests and engage in conversation, engage in different whatever happens in these protests. These teenagers that were part of this intended to get them to attack him, rile them up through conversation, and then get them attack him so he could arrest them for assault, that type of thing. Now, there was one chick that threw water on him. There's actually video of him having water thrown on him. Now he wanted to charge her with assault, and the Arizona Attorney General said, "Well, throwing water on somebody, well, let's say at a football game when a team wins a game, they'll take the coach and they'll throw water, they'll throw Gatorade on him and stuff. So that's not really considered assault. Now, if they lay hands, if they're throwing a rock or something at him, that would be a little bit different. But since with water, that's not. What do you think? You think that's assault? We think the his superiors are wanting to discipline him for his actions, and I don't know where that's going. I'm kind of torn out of this. I said, yeah, private says he's got to do what he wants, but as a police officer, he's kind of held to higher standards. Of course, I know better than to go out and if I go out in the middle of a protest, I kind of risk getting the crap beat out of me because if I engage somebody else in that type of conversation, of course, I'm not going to have a gun on me because I don't want to deliberately start something in an argument, where I'm put in a position where I might have to defend myself, because that's pretty stupid to do something like that. I mean, to me, that's my belief. I think the officer should have known better, but does he have the right to go out and do that? I don't know. I'm just asking you. I have mixed feelings on this. But anyway, it's not anything I'm smarter than to go out and do something like that, than to go in the middle of a protest. Now, if I agreed with if I were agreed with a bunch of these protesters and I wanted to go out and join them, I might do that. Of course, if someone else is on the sideline and say, man, you're full of crap, I say, well, look, you're entitled to your opinion. You got your rights. I assume you're a red-blooded American like me. You got your rights to think and feel as you wish. That's what I'd say. I'd say, look, if you don't like this, you go out and go have a counter protest, but keep it peaceful, keep it civil. That's what I would say. Next thing I'm going to cover is for this rocket radio. Now, I've only seen a minute or so of this on here on my phone. I'm going to download the video and watch it on my big screen TV. Now, it's Mr. Carlson's lab. Now, if you're into restoring, antique electronics and stuff, that's what Mr. Carlson does, and that's his YouTube channel, Mr. Carlson's Lab. But anyway, yeah, it's an AM radio. It's a tube set built back in 1940s, 1950s, something like that. But it's built like a rocket, and it's got a lampshade on it where it's got a light on top of it, kind of cool looking. He's going to restore it, go through and replace all the paper capacitors in there, bring it up to where it'll work, that type of thing. That's the type of thing that he does. He's going to do. I don't think he's going to do a full restoration on it, because some of his projects that he's done, he'll just do just a very minimum to get something up to, get something to working, and say, well, if you're on a budget and don't want to put a lot of money into something, this is kind of how you can handle it. That's Mr. Carlson's lab. Anyway, one thing Mr. Carlson needs to do is kind of explain where he finds some of his projects. Does he hit up, thrift stores? Does he go to places that sell, ham fests? Maybe somebody's got old equipment that they're, just want to get rid of for cheap at a ham fest or something. I don't know. Where does Mr. Carlson find his potential projects, for his videos? I'm just curious. He needs to make a video like that where he's kind of going to maybe, I'm sure that he hits up, thrift stores, electronic places that have use electronic equipment, that type of thing. He needs to show some of those. The other one is the Save It for Parts guy. Don't remember his first name, but I love his videos also. There's a handful of videos that are channels that are dedicated to electronics projects, that type of thing. He's gone to he's back in Minnesota or something like that. There's a couple places. It's like Axeman, places that he'll buy a lot of his juice stuff. There. He's kind of shown him. The Save It for Parts guy. I wish I knew his first name. I'd mention it. But anyway, I'm the electronics one. Let me get to my phone. Now, the phone I'm making this on. About a month after I'd bought this phone, I was at the Walmart parking lot, and the phone slipped and it cracked the screen. I was going to buy the silicone plastic thing you put on your phone, so if you break it, it doesn't. I mean, if you drop it, it doesn't break. Got to put a screen protector, but I forgot, and I dropped the thing. The screen has really, really gotten bad. Now I found one on Amazon. It's like $35 or something. For a screen, I'll get a case and a protector. What I probably will do was have the go over to Cricket. I've got another phone. I did this, when I lost my other phone. I'm gonna cover that story in another video. But anyway, I just left it. I can't turn this phone off. You hit the button down, it'll just do a reset. It won't let you shut it off. So what I'll probably do is have the service transferred to my other phone. Now this phone, I thought I could take the SIM card out and transfer it to the other phone. But yesterday morning, I pulled a little thing out that has it. Was a little tray in there that holds a SIM card and a micro SD card. I pulled those out. The micro SD card came out, but the SIM card stayed stuck in there. So I may just have them transfer. I thought I could just transfer the SIM card over to another phone, but it wouldn't. Like I said, the SIM card stayed stuck in there. I pulled the back off the phone, but even then, I couldn't get the SIM card out. So I don't want to, with the phone on, I don't want to stick a wire in there, anything metal, have it in the working phone, have it short out. So what I'll probably do is just have them, have Cricket activate the other phone, leave this phone on till the battery completely runs down, and then go ahead and see what I just pull the screen off, take all the little tiny screws off. I may be able to just do the screen, leave the SIM card in there, then have them switch back over to this phone. I'm just got some different ideas on that. I don't know quite right now. I don't know quite what I'm going to do yet. Of course, I saw some nice phones over at Cricket for about $140. I may just leave that other phone. Skip bring the screen on this. Just wait till I've got $140 I can afford to spend on a phone. That's going to be midsummertime when I make a little bit more money. Right now, I can afford the $30 for another screen. I'm going to kind of play with ideas here. Anyway, plane. Now we had this partly happened just today morning. We had general aviation light aircraft land on a very, very busy city of Phoenix streets, like 7th Street in Missouri, like that. Now there's a video of it. Now this plane landed. It's a miracle that it really did. That nobody got hurt on this. Didn't end up bashing the car, flipping over, that type of thing. But anyway, it had a plane land. Now, the pilot of this plane is going to have some explaining to do. They're going to have to explain to the FAA how they, I'm guessing their engine cut out. They just didn't have any choice. I'm guessing it's something like that. And that's something you can kind of prove. But, I'm sure they're going to do a full investigation. If this guy wants to keep his pilot's license, he's going to have to explain to the FAA why he had to land on a busy city street. But him and everybody that was in traffic this morning is lucky that nobody got hurt on that. That's the reason they kind of discourage that type of thing. Okay, let me get to our nice hiking weather. Now, if you notice that it's about 6:30 in the morning right now. You notice I got a beanie on beside the sunglasses. I got a beanie on. I got my sweater on. About ready to take a sweater off because it's warmed up to the point where I just barely need to sweat anymore. This one is like super dirty. I wash my winter stuff maybe once or twice through the wintertime because our winter times are short here. It'll go from maybe like late November to on the daytime. You even in the middle of February you can do t-shirt stuff in middle of February. So our winters are fairly mild here. It's not like some parts of the world where They go skiing in the middle of June. There's a few places like that, but not here, not here in Arizona. It was hot. It was 110 degrees a few weeks ago, and it's dropped down into the 80s. But anyway, well, we've got quite a number of hiking trails throughout the valley. If some chick wants to join me, let me know what you got in mind. Maybe you a particular place that you like to hike and just need a partner. Maybe you want to go do that waterfall hike in the White Tanks with me. Or you want to go hike Squaw Peak or something. Yeah, I know Squaw Peak is not politically correct, but I like saying Squaw Peak. I've covered that before. But anyway, if some chick wants to do a collab hiking video with me, let me know. See, I got one last one here. Oh, the 3 hour cruise. Now, our president has blocked the Straits of Hormuz. I don't think that's going to work. So far, nothing that Trump has done against Iran. I think Iran kind of figured, if we're attacked by the U.S., this is the way we're going to handle it. I think they had this all planned out. They kind of blocked. I think what we're going to have to do is kind of, take out some of the oil terminals so they're no longer making any money. I don't think anything short of that. Take out the oil terminals where they're no longer making any oil money. Of course, that's going to hurt the world economy because a lot of the world runs on Iranian oil. The U.S. doesn't. Here in the U.S. we got our own oil, but it's affected the gas prices worldwide. I think blockading that waterway, the Hormuz. But anyway, I got to thinking. Now, what if I wanted to have the skipper take the minnow and do a tour up and down the Hormuz Seaway, whatever they call that. The Germans call it the Strasser of Hormuz, and I don't get that. Strasser is street; it's a waterway. I keep listening to German broadcasts, and they call it Strasser of Hormuz. But anyway, now let's say I wanted to take a 3 hour island tour with the skipper, and I didn't know that he was going to accidentally get in the middle of a storm. We're going to end up shipwrecked on a desert island somewhere. But I would get to spend a few nights with Marianne on a hammock at a desert island. That would be so cool. But she's so damn cute. Of course, she's the actress that played Marianne has left us a couple years ago. I've covered that a few times before. But anyway, let's say I want to hire the skipper to take the minnow up and down the Hormuz, maybe have him dock at a port in Iran somewhere. But I can't do that now. I can't have the skipper take me to a seaport in Hormuz because it's blocked. Oh well, maybe I can think better of that. Let's see if I covered everything here. I'll make another video if I think of something else. Let's see, rocket radio, 3 hour island tour, hiking weather, plane, police officer, and phone. I've covered them all. So, y vaya con Dios. Au revoir. If that French chick is out there wants to teach me how to French kiss, you can get on top. You can experience your double Big Bang. You can offer me a tuna fish sandwich. Au revoir. Das Vestania. Das Leben ist ein Abenteuer. Das Leben ist nicht einfach. Auf Wiedersehen and goodbye. Oh, for Mr. Carlson, goodbye for now.